We also have a program called A Judge's Breakfast. Judge Alan Gold, a wonderful federal district court judge who cares a lot about mindfulness and talks a lot about mindfulness, especially in the context of civility, because as we get more stressed out, as we've been talking about, one thing that tends to sort of fall away is civility, and our ability, even with the best of intentions, to really be present for what's called upon. And so each year, 12 students who have participated in a mindfulness program are asked to, or invited to attend the chambers of Judge Gold for what's called a frank discussion. There was a famous judge a long time ago named Jerome Frank who said, how a judge rules depends very much on what that judge had for breakfast, right? Which turned out at the time to be a pretty keen insight. So if we can be aware of the ways in which we're affected by what we eat, among other things, it can very much influence how we make decisions and make them more widely. And so it's called a frank discussion of mindfulness and judicial decision making. So those are some of the workshops that we do. In the curriculum, we have a variety of classes. The Mindfulness in Law program is really the first mindfulness in law program of any law school in the country, which is pretty terrific. There are lots of wonderful teachers in law schools around the country teaching mindfulness in various forms and finding creative ways of integrating it. So here are some of the other ways that we're doing it. One of the classes is called Mindful Ethics. It's the integration of mindfulness and professional responsibility. It's been being taught now since 2010. It's co-developed and I co-teach with my wonderful colleague Jan Jacobowitz, who's the director of the Professional Responsibility and Ethics program. We also teach Mindfulness in Law, which is where over the course of the semester, the students have an introduction to and a deepening understanding of and practicing of mindfulness, where each week they then enjoy a conversation about an area of the law in particular that then dovetails with what they're learning about mindfulness. So for example, we have mindfulness and trial practice, mindfulness and negotiation, mindfulness and mediation, mindfulness and ethics, mindfulness and judicial decision making. And last year we were delighted and privileged to have Judge Chris McAlilly, who came to our class, met with our students and talked very much about the practice of mindfulness in the context of being a judge, making decisions. And it transformed and changed that experience for the students, for myself, and I think she had a meaningful time too, because when you work with students, as you know, however old they may be, as you know, and we're all students all the way through to the end, it can be a very wonderful opportunity.